You're listening to the Business Communicators.
You guys mentioned that you had the vaccine, your second dose of Pfizer this past week, and I get my Moderna second vaccine in just a few days. We've been actually discussing this on our group thread about vaccine passports, because that's something that is probably coming for a lot of people who want to travel at some point in 2021. There are a few countries that, like Iceland, for example, that has said that if you're an American and you are fully vaccinated, you can come to our country. Greece has said the same thing. And instead of carrying that little card from the CDC that proves that you got the Pfizer, the Moderna, or the J&J vaccine, it looks like vaccine passports might be an option. And there's been a lot of concerns on whether this violates people's privacy, if governments and businesses can ask to see, whether or not you're vaccinated. Curious what y'all's take is in this situation. And Thomas, I'm going to start with you because you mentioned that you've got the healthcare background. What's your take?
I'm kind of. I think they have to be very careful how they word this and go from it, because you hear the scarlet letter. Oh, if you don't have the card, you can't travel. But then also depending on how it's gone through, is it going to be part of the visa application to go into a different country? But then are you going to need the passport to go to a different city or to travel across the state lines inside the country? There's way too many unknowns about the whole thing. But before we really truly dive into that, I want to talk about the Johnson & Johnson real quickly, because they had the big challenge with what happened in Baltimore, and now there's the big push about governors trying to get the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Get vaccinated. Don't worry about which one it has. That's all I'm going to say from there.
Yeah, the best shot is the one on your arm.
Yes. But to the passport thing, I think really it comes down to how are they going to force it? Are you going to have to carry the card and then show it? Then what happens if you lose the card? Because then that starts playing with the HIPAA violation. If somebody finds it and says, Mr. Thomas Bain, your vaccine card is available here. Your Johnson & Johnson vaccine card is here.
How is that a HIPAA violation? Isn't a HIPAA violation like if I lose the vaccine card at like HEB here in Texas and somebody like calls me or mentions something over the phone, that's not a HIPAA violation. I mean,
but if it's you and them, but if they're announcing it over the store that you,
but HIPAA only applies to medical professionals talking about your medical records. So how is that how is that a HIPAA violation?
It's not.
The wording is very, very, very vague, meaning that insurance companies and anybody that has any
but
sort of
a store
say,
manager at an HEB
telling you, and then too,
and they do vaccines there.
So,
but the store manager doesn't do it.
But that's where it comes into play, is if they announce that, hey, you lost something, come pick it up. But now if they say Austin Staten with your Johnson & Johnson vaccine card or anything like that. So by that note, even at the pharmacies, when you're sitting there, the names that if you look at it is only your first initials. It's not even your full name.
But Thomas, there is no one that's going to announce it that way. That's not even logical. But you were talking about the passports, and I kind of wanted to put my little 2 cents in there. What's interesting for me for a passport for this is that it'll be the first of its kind for this type of vaccine versus we've been getting vaccines for years. The other part is, for me, how long will this passport be valid? Because we don't know how long even the vaccine is valid. Going into any country, it's just proving that you've been vaccinated and you're not going to bring this deadly whatever into their country. So I'm kind of I like the idea of proving that I have been vaccinated, but as for a passport itself, and when you think about regular passports, they last 10 years. So the time frame for all of this, they haven't, that doesn't seem to be thought through.
So I think they're probably trying to make this a mobile play and not something that you have to go to like the passport office to actually get done. It's something where you can probably like scan in your vaccine card and it'll update.
That's all good. That's all good and fine.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I could get mine laminated now because I'm done with that.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of just showing that I've had this done, and I can come into your country. But the idea of a passport and the meaning of it means something else to me.
It's like, can you get the stamp on the vaccine passport? I don't know. But
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the language that we're using, and that's what I'm questioning, as well as the timing. And I don't want somebody telling me they're probably doing this, because that's not clear to me. And I'm a type of person that says, can you help me understand what you mean by this?
Right.
But the other challenge is with these cards, how easy is it to make one fraudulent? And to bring it in, is show your card. It's a piece of paper with some pen on it. At the end of the day, that
Everything is fraudulent up to this point, Thomas.
I don't disagree, but they've taken steps for our physical passports to be less fraudulent with embedded RFID chips and holograms and everything else in between.
I hear you,
but
and that's why they shouldn't call it a passport.
And that's what they've been saying too, is because all of these people are posting their vaccine cards on the internet. Posting it on Twitter, posting it on Facebook, posting it on Instagram, and healthcare professionals have actually had to come out and say, don't do this.
There's articles out there that tell you don't do it.
And so that's why
I've been sending
you've been seeing like people that are smart cover up the numbers, because that's the record. That's the proof that you are who you say you are and that you've gotten the vaccine, the jab in the arm. So yeah, it can very easily be manipulated. And at the end of the day, like if you download like the Clear app, think of this as like TSA security, right? Clear app allows you to skip the line because you're a known person and you've got like a 5-year window before you have to get it renewed. If the Clear app is actually launching their own version of the vaccine passport, but if you've got someone else's information, is the app going to know that? I mean, I don't think so.
So many questions.
Yeah.
So many questions and not a lot of answers.
Yeah. I'll say my one takeaway for this is I like the fact that countries are starting to say if you're vaccinated, you can come. And that just makes me happy as someone who likes to travel. And
Amen.
I get so excited about that. So, Hattie, if I see any good flight deals, I actually saw one yesterday. Houston to Greece in October. Under $500.
But I got my little side hustle now.
Oh, tell us about it.
What's your side hustle here?
My little side hustle now, y'all, I'm an independent travel agent. So
Love it.
Because I love to travel too. And so because I love to travel, I would love to help other people fulfill their travel dreams. So
And you actually have a good post about this on your website, your personal website, which is mythirdact.com. Check it out.
My Third Act
blog.com. Check it out. I think we retweeted it, or I retweeted it like a few weeks ago, but Hattie shared it on her Twitter page as well. She's got some good insights on there, so give her a follow. And if you want to talk travel with us, we all love talking travel, so just hit us up.
Yes, we do.
Hit us up on social media. But yeah, I can't wait. We'll see. This is going to be interesting to follow. When I had to go to Brazil in 2016 for work, I had, to get a bunch of shots. When I went off to college, you had to get a bunch of shots, and you had to prove that you have these shots. So I don't think this is anything new. I think the idea of a passport is new. And of course, you've got politicians that are going to be outraged regardless of what you do. If you tell them water is wet, you're going to have half the country say no, it's not. Half the country say yes, it is. So it'll be interesting to see how this kind of matures over the next few months.
I think really my challenge with it is the passport as being something physical. If it goes to like the EMR, the electronic medical record, to where it's, hey, here's this, but then you throw in a whole nother level of privacy of biometrics and facial recognition, and how do you know that this jump drive is really yours, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So my challenge with it right now is just the physical card, is having to show your physical card. If they can make it some way that it's not.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we all have the 5G chip in our arm, and so they should know that we're vaccinated, right?
The first one injects it and the second one turns it on. Is that what it boils down to?
Yeah, I heard that both you and Hattie have had great cell service over the past few days. So.
That is unequivocally false, because one of my side hustles, I was actually in a pharmacy in the middle of nowhere 2 days ago, and my cell signal was non-existent. Like, I think it was negative cell signal, in all honesty.
Oh, too fun. We're just joking. There is no 5G chip or Microsoft chip in your arm. Don't believe that. If anyone tells you that, they are crazy. Don't listen to them. That is our final takeaway when it comes to the vaccine passport. But we do like to have a little bit of fun here and poke fun at one another.
You've been listening to the Business Communicators.